Our lesson today is titled Decimal Number Stories. Why are we doing this lesson today? Well, we need to be able to convert or translate decimal notation to fraction notation. We need to be able to compute with fractions and be able to translate back into decimal notation. How we're going to go about that, we're going to use real-world problems that require us to translate back and forth between decimals and fractions. So when we take a look at this first example, we have a newborn baby weighed 3 4/10 kilograms. A newborn hippo weighed 9 times as much. How much did the newborn hippo weigh? Answer blank kilograms. So you'll notice in the problem itself we have a decimal, and it is 3 4/10. So what we're going to do is we're going to go about this problem in a couple of different ways. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the problem converting that decimal to a mixed number. So if we take 3 4/10, that is equal to the whole number 3 and the fraction 4/10. So it tells us in the problem that the hippo weighed 9 times as much. So then we would take 3 4/10 times 9. And to solve that, we're going to do 3 times 9 first of all, which is 27. And then we're going to do 9 times 4/10.
So sorry to bother you, but you need to answer your...
Which is going to give us 36/10. We're going to put the 27 and the 36/10 together. And when we do that, it becomes 27 36/10, which of course 36/10 is larger than a whole. So that in itself is going to equal 3 6/10. So we're going to add 27 plus 3, which equals 30. And then we have the 6/10 left over. So now we have a mixed number as our answer, but we're going to convert that back to a decimal. So that's going to turn into 30 6/10. And so then we are able to fill that in as 30 6/10 kilograms. For our next example, we have a problem that has to do with the Olympics. So let's take a look. The first place women's figure skater had a total score of 224 59 points. The 10th place skater had 174 53 points. How many more points did the first place skater score than the 10th place skater? So you may be thinking, the fact that it says how many more makes me think that I need to subtract, which would be my first assumption. So we're going to underline how many more. So there's a couple of different ways that we could go about this problem. We could use the method that I used in the previous problem, where we take each of the decimals, we convert it to a mixed number, we do our subtraction, and then we convert it back to a decimal. So I'll do that one first. Second option would be to set up our decimals in a T-chart and do our subtraction, which might be a little quicker. But let's go ahead and do the first example that we did before. So we're going to take 224 59, and we're going to convert that into a mixed number. So that's going to turn into this. And then we're going to take 174 and 53 hundredths, and we're going to turn that into a mixed number. And then I'm going to put a subtraction sign right here. I'm just going to draw my line, and I'm going to do my subtraction. So we'll start with the fraction portion of the problem. 59 minus 53 is going to give us 6 hundredths. And then we'll do the 224 minus the 174. So we've got 4 minus 4, which is 0. Can't do 2 minus 7, so we're going to have to regroup. And we get 50 and 6 hundredths, 6 100ths, and then we're going to turn that back into a decimal, which would look like this. So this would be one way to solve the problem. Another way to go about this problem would be to make a T-chart. We're going to take that 224. We're going to put our decimal point here, our 59, and then put our 174, decimal point here, and we're going to subtract. So we get 6 here, 0 here, decimal point doesn't move, make sure to put it in, 0, have to regroup, and once again, we get the same answer that we got with the last technique, 50 and 6 hundredths. So if we were going to write a number model with an unknown, we could write 224 and 59 hundredths minus 174 and 53 hundredths equals y. And then, of course, our answer would go here. And there you have it. So, to summarize today's lesson, we solve real-world problems with decimals by changing them into fractions, solving the problem, and then converting our answer back into decimals. Or if it's a simple addition or subtraction of those decimals, we can do a T-chart, which would also work in most cases. Ta-da! See you in class.